Oh, he's done. That's insane. That's the thing about this series and Star Wars in general. Even if the war is over, the fight will always continue. Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's Jasmine, the Ahsoka Tano fan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Long time no see, guys. So it is time for episode 8 of The Bad Batch now. So episode 7, the last one, was a really good one, actually. I really enjoyed it. We didn't actually see the Bad Batch make an appearance last episode, but instead we focused on the politics behind the war and the clones being decommissioned. Of course, we're starting to see now that people are catching on to Rampart and the fact that he's not being totally transparent and he may be covering up a thing or two. I mentioned a couple of videos back that that's kind of the main storyline that I'm really most interested in, just because I really want to see what happens with that in terms of Tarkin finding out and what's going to happen to Rampart, what's going to happen when they find out that the Bad Batch is still alive, because right now the Bad Batch can use that to their advantage, that everybody thinks that they're dead, but the moment people know that they're alive, they might, Palpatine and Tarkin might want to ramp up efforts to capture them or kill them, to be honest. Yeah, no, that was a really good episode. It was very suspenseful, full of mystery. We saw Chuchi again, we saw Rex by the end, and then we found out that that sniper was in fact a clone, which was a twist, something I wasn't expecting. When I first saw him, I thought it might have been Crosshair, but ended up in fact being a clone, which was like looking into a mirror for Rex, right? So yeah, that was really good. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that story. I have the next episode up on my screen here. It says Truth and Consequences. Brought into a risky mission, the Batch must use stealth to survive. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be a continuation of the previous episode, so I think probably they're going to continue that story on a bit later down the road, maybe a few episodes from now or something like that, or maybe that will be the main focus of the finale, or at least the final couple episodes. Anyways, guys, I don't want to speculate too much. Let's blast our way into episode 8 and check out what's in store for us. I wonder why it's called Truth and Consequences. Nice animation yet again. So what are our batch gonna be up to now? Just having some downtime, I guess. Omega's meditating. Did she pick up meditating after her experience with Gunji and Uncle Sheik?
Gunji taught me, but
yeah,
it hasn't worked for me the way it did for him.
He's a Jedi.
You want to try?
No.
oh,
I don't enjoy solitude.
oh, fair enough after what he went through.
Skako Minor.
Yeah.
If it weren't for this squad, I'd still be a prisoner there, or worse. This was where I fit, where I was needed.
Nice.
It's Rex.
Rex.
Hey boys.
Oh, so it is
Any chance I could use your squad's expertise for a mission?
a continuation, maybe?
I'll explain everything when you get to Coruscant.
They're going to Coruscant.
Coruscant.
So it is part 2.
That's a big ask, Captain.
Why? What's on Coruscant?
That freaking Empire.
And thus,
The Emperor.
the Empire. But the Empire thinks we're dead.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to keep it that way. It's a covert mission. A simple data extraction, but a crucial one. We're on our way.
The data that he wants him to collect, is that data that's going to be incriminating for Rampart? Didn't that Trooper Slip say something about that? But I think Rampart knows that they're alive because of what Wilco said. Even if he acts like he's in denial, he knows. So he still very well could be looking for them to try and kill them before Tarkin finds out that he failed, right? Yeah, it is part 2. Good. I'm glad we don't have to wait longer to see this story continued.
Hello.
Oh,
Thank you for coming.
Inside, there's something I want you to see.
he's gonna show him the dead clone, the sniper. Did he find out anything else about him?
His identifying number's been wiped.
I was not aware that was possible.
Who is his target? Clone contact of mine named Slip. Why would a clone be targeting another clone? Or a senator?
Exactly.
Silence us. Slip witnessed the truth. I wanted him to testify to Rempart's crimes.
I can be your witness. The Senate won't listen to any of us. We're deserters. But there's another way to provide the Senate with the evidence of the Empire's crimes. The command log on Rempart's Venator.
Oh, yeah.
And a copy of it on the ship's backup databanks.
Oh.
We must prove his crimes before it passes.
Oh, crap.
I can go with her and keep an eye out.
You can't enter the Senate district without an Imperial security clearance.
That will not be a problem.
Tech's good at that stuff.
Then let's get to work.
Alright, this is what I'm talking about. This is a mission I like. This is hella risky what they're doing, I'm not gonna lie.
Senator Chuchi.
Will he recognize Omega?
I was just making a few preparations for tomorrow's vote.
I am looking forward to it.
I guess he never saw Omega before? But I thought he might know what she looks like though.
There's nothing else she can do.
No more delays on this vote, Rampart.
Where the future of the galaxy is decided, for better or worse.
This almost reminds me of when Padme was showing Ahsoka how the meetings were run and teaching her about the politics behind the war.
Clones do not have representation in the Senate.
We're part of this galaxy too.
Oh yeah, that's so cute. That's their droid. Bale's droid, right?
What was that?
A message. Can you keep a secret?
An assassin? It appears Rampart is resourceful.
Some associates of mine are helping procure evidence of his attack on Camino to present to the Senate.
And you're confident they can accomplish this?
Very.
Then there is someone you should speak with. Halle Bartoni.
Oh,
Who's that?
I don't recognize that name.
She was part of the Defense Finance Committee before being removed from office. Follow the money.
Chuchi really is the new Padme, you know? And her and Bale working together now to try and restore peace.
Our armed guards really.
Oh wait, no, I think did we see this lady last season? She worked with the other guy, what was his name? They try to hire Bane to bring Omega back to them.
Funding for the cloning facilities has been siphoned off for over the past year. Who diverted the funds?
Do you know what happens when you dig around where you shouldn't?
Deserved.
Why people are gone?
How can you not care about what happened on Camino?
Why do you care, child?
Because I'm a clone too. It was my home. I saw the Empire destroy everything, and I'm angry.
That good enough of an answer for you? She's gotta be careful how much she says though.
Lamasu was arrogant.
Yeah, Lama Su, that was his name.
Confident his clones were a necessity to the Empire. Rampart is a mere cog in the machine. You need concrete proof.
They need to get that file. Yikes, I don't know if this is gonna have a good ending. Because we know the Empire obviously does not get taken down yet. Oh crap, any one of them was gonna get caught on that. Did that do anything, I wonder?
More and more of our brothers are waking up to what's been done to them. I can't turn my back on them. I'm working with a few contacts I trust, but we're spread pretty thin. Help's hard to come by these days.
But you have a certain Jedi friend? Or ex-Jedi? I love how he's not giving up on his brothers, just like in the Clone Wars finale.
There's not enough cover. We won't get across the shipyard undetected. Not on foot.
Oh, they're gonna try and get onto one of those ships? Yeah. Wow, almost didn't make it. That's crazy.
He's still not better with heights. This is
I was gonna say, why is he groaning? Oh, because he doesn't like heights.
bypass the controls. Hang on.
Ahaha. Tech is super useful. He's literally like their own droid, their own R2. And he's good at steering, especially after joining that pod race, right? Well, they could definitely steal one of the uniforms, like Rex, for example, and would go completely undetected, because they have the same voice, obviously.
Well, that is unfortunate.
It's not there?
Want to narrow that down?
most likely signal a security breach.
They better have a plan of escape. Oh man. This is so risky. Oh my gosh. They wasted no time.
I am expediting the file transfer as quickly as possible.
Oh my goodness. Again, it reminds me of the Clone Wars series finale. Because they set their blasters to stun while the clones are obviously have their blasters set to kill.
Echo, and the cannons. Deal with the escort.
Oh. Man, if they get spotted though. Damn. Because those clones are still alive because they're just stunning them. So they're gonna obviously all have seen the Bad Batch. They're gonna know they're still alive. Nice.
We need an exit strategy. Good one. Going over them. Over them?
How are they gonna get out of this?
These escape pods are non-operational.
We only need them to eject. I can handle the rest.
This shouldn't be interesting.
They've been through worse, like when they're flying, when they're falling in the air, trying to go after Dooku's war chest. Wait, isn't that so risky?
I was off by 6.4 meters. Not my best.
Oh, there they are. Or are they going into the pipes now?
With the clone trooper provisions requested by Senator Chuchi now addressed, there is no reason to delay the vote of the Imperial Defense Recruitment Bill further.
Is Omega with her or no?
We cannot take you on your word when you have given us reason not to.
Oh my gosh. She's doing this before they have the file?
According to Bartoni, you were responsible for diverting Kaminoan funding to outside entities without Senate approval. A formal investigation should clear things up, unless you want to tell us now where those funds went.
Oh my gosh, she is so brave. That's them, right?
Get this to Senator Chuchi. Hurry.
Oh my gosh. They should have went with her, maybe. Extra protection.
Your actions began months prior to the loss of Tipoca City, almost as if you were preparing for it.
Oh.
I assert that the Kaminoan cloning facilities were intentionally eliminated.
Oh my gosh. She's got balls of steel.
I will not dignify such baseless accusations. Let us proceed with this vote.
I motion that Senator Chuchi be removed from these proceedings.
And removed from life. Do it right now. No time to waste. Good job, Omega. Don't drop it now. Okay, good.
The recovered command log from Admiral Rampart's Venator.
Play it already.
His own ships caused the destruction of Tipoca City.
Can you play it or something? Insert it? Yeah, okay, good. Oh, he's done. Oh. Oh man, Omega's seeing it from that angle. That's insane. What are they gonna do now? The Emperor? Is that him? Palpatine? Yeah, it is him. Oh. Oh. He's gonna have Rampart killed because he's drawing too much negative attention. Wow.
It would appear that Senator Chuchi's horrific assertions are correct.
They're gonna get rid of Rampart.
A cowardly act by
They're gonna make him take the fall.
his own personal agenda
Oh, that's what they always do.
and detain the Admiral.
Oh my gosh.
I was following orders. I was following.
That's what the clones say.
I am deeply troubled by this recent revelation.
Oh.
My gratitude to Senator Chuchi for exposing a rogue element within our ranks. Admiral Rampart will face the consequences.
Oh, crap.
He did not act alone.
Who did he act with?
The clones under his command so blindly followed.
Oh, he's gonna use it to further the bill.
In such carnage without hesitation.
To support the stormtroopers. Oh, no. Oh, they weren't expecting it to go that way.
We shall usher in a new era, an imperial stormtrooper.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That literally did nothing.
We played right into his hands.
We did the right thing. We told the truth.
Oh, child.
And he twisted it to his advantage. The Emperor wanted us to implicate Rampart to get what he was after all along. The fate of all the clones is now sealed. Because of us.
They played into their hands for sure.
But I will keep fighting for the clones. You all deserve the same rights as every citizen.
Wherever you end up, remember what I said.
Wait, is he leaving them?
Don't get into trouble without it.
Without us?
Best of luck, Echo.
Wait, he's leaving?
I'm going with Rex. The clones will need our help now more than ever.
Oh.
You can't leave. We're a squad.
Ooh, I wasn't expecting that, I'm not gonna lie.
We need you too.
Oh.
I'll be back. Keep up with your training.
Not if he's killed. Oh. This is kind of emotional. Damn.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Keep an eye on them.
Damn. Shoot, because you don't know what could happen to Echo. You know that Rex will survive, but Echo could die, right? Oh. Damn. Oh. That's why he was talking about himself to Omega, because I think maybe he was contemplating his decision. Oh. Damn. That was so sad. So wow, that was a really good episode with a sad ending. You saw that Echo has once again chosen to go on his own path, which of course the first time we saw him do that was to leave the clones and go with the Bad Batch, and now it's the reverse. He's kind of returning back to his roots by going with Rex to help the rest of the clones. You could say that they foreshadowed this for quite some time. On one hand, Echo was always different from the rest of the Bad Batch in the sense that he didn't have any extraordinary abilities per se like the rest of them, but it was just the fact that he was still different from the other clones that made him feel like he fit in more with them. So now we kind of see that he is returning back to his roots, like I was saying, and going back with the clones. You also saw him a few episodes back talk about how eventually we're going to have to stand up to the Empire someday. He was talking to Hunter about that, and now we kind of see him doing that. He's taking his fight a little bit to the next level, a level that the Bad Batch haven't quite reached yet. They did help out this one episode by doing this mission, but normally they kind of do their side stuff for Sid and kind of do their own thing. They haven't quite joined the battle against the Empire like Echo has been ready to do for quite some time. You also saw in this episode he was talking to Omega about himself and what happened to him, and if it weren't for his boys, he would have still been a prisoner there or worse. And now you kind of see why he was saying that. He was probably contemplating whether or not he was about to make the right decision by going on his own path, but in so doing, leaving the people that helped him escape in the first place. He and Omega's relationship was built up over the past few episodes. You saw towards the beginning of this season, Omega overheard Echo talking about her and felt hurt by that. And then Echo, by the end of the episode, said that if he could go back, he wouldn't change anything, and he was in fact happy to have her. So they kind of came to that understanding, and he accepted her. For them to go through that and have the conversations they did this episode to now Echo leaving, there's definitely a bit of emotion felt there. I feel like I was getting a little bit teary-eyed. I don't know if you guys could see that. Yeah, it was definitely sad to see Echo go. I hope that this is not the last we see of him, and I hope that he survives, because we know that Rex does, but we don't know for sure what the future holds for Echo. So it's possible he could be killed off. So that part kind of has me on edge a little bit. Well, as we know, any of the Bad Batch could be killed off, to be honest, because none of them we see following the Bad Batch. We don't see them in Rebels or anything, so anything is possible. I like that he and Rex are both not giving up on their brothers, especially Rex, given what he went through during the Clone Wars series finale. Pretty powerful, and just shows the bond he has with them and how much he cares for his brothers. He truly cares. And you saw in this episode again, their weapons were set to stun while the clones were set to kill. So it just shows the the difference in the contrast in ultimate goal. The clones are trying to kill them, whereas they still don't want to harm the other clones because they do see them as their brothers who are just being misguided, and they're trying to help them. So now that Echo has left, then there were 4. All this time, the Bad Batch has really been 5. It started off with 5. Before, you had Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair, Tech, and then Echo joined them. So that was 5. And then Omega joins them, then there was 6, but then Crosshair went on to serve the Empire, so then there was 5 again. Now that Echo has left, they're down to 4. Does this potentially leave open the possibility of Crosshair returning back to the team again and then making them 5 once more? I don't know if that's some sort of foreshadowing. Before we get to the Emperor scene in a second, I want to talk about Omega and Chuchi. I really like their relationship this episode. It really reminded me a lot of Padme and Ahsoka's relationship in the Clone Wars. Padme showed Ahsoka a little bit how the proceedings went. I think Ahsoka was there at one of the meetings, and she introduced her to the politics behind the war that Ahsoka was not really used to seeing at the time, because obviously her main focus was the actual battlefield, kind of like the clones. So in this episode, Chuchi kind of taught Omega in a similar way. You saw Omega ask important questions like, where are the seats for the clones? And then Chuchi said, the clones don't have representation. These are kind of things that we didn't necessarily think about, again, with the movies, that we're now having to think about and question. And that's kind of what I like about Omega in this show. Because she is a kid, she has arguably the most open mind about everything and the most curiosity. And so she just asks, during the Dooku war chest arc, she would ask things like, oh, what's all this? And oh, Dooku was exploiting people and profiting off the war. To which Omega would say, oh, isn't that what we're doing? She always kind of asks these questions of curiosity, but they're actually pretty good questions that make you think. And even in this episode, she said, I don't get it. We did the right thing. Why did this happen? She still obviously has that curiosity, but she has a lot, I guess, to learn as well about the way the world works and the corruption, and she's slowly getting exposure to that in the same way that Ahsoka did. I really like in this episode as well how whenever Chuchi talked about the clones, Omega always said we're citizens too and whatnot. You definitely can see that Omega does identify with the clone aspect to her identity, and that's why she truly sees herself as one of the batch. And at the end, to Echo, she said we're a squad. She really does value that clone bond. So the whole Emperor part now. So you see what happened with Chuchi teaming up with Senator Bartoni. I confused her with the other lady from last season of the Bad Batch. I don't think it was the same lady. This lady, I think, was in the Clone Wars, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was in an episode or 2 with Padme, and I believe that Padme was arguing against increased military spending, and she was arguing for, which at the time was looked at as not so great a thing. But now, obviously, because everything collapsed, it's like the lines have been redrawn. Now she falls on the other side of the war, where she's trying to stand up against this empire that's becoming increasingly more oppressive, and she's trying to fight for the clones once again, the same way she did in the Clone Wars, but from a different point of view now and in a different light. If Padme were still alive, I think she'd be proud of what Senator Bartoni was trying to accomplish with Senator Chuchi here. You could see she was hesitant to get involved, but nonetheless she did. And just when it looked like everything was going to work in their favor, we saw the Empire come into play here and essentially use their own plan against them. Now, first of all, I love how he just rose from the bottom and all the way to the top. I think it really visually depicts just how he rose to power. He started off in the shadows, playing both sides of the war, and then slowly he brought himself into a position where he had unlimited power and then was able to take over everything. And you can see that by him rising slowly to the top, to from the bottom where nobody saw him to the top where he was above everybody. So that was kind of a cool scene, gave me a bit of chills. He essentially set up Rampart to take the fall. Now, I don't know that this was something he wanted to happen per se, or if it was more of a contingency plan. Had they not come forward with that evidence, I think what would have happened was the bill would have just passed. But he probably had that contingency plan where if Rampart becomes too exposed, because he's probably aware of all the rumors circulating that Rampart might have been involved and whatnot. So he probably had this as a backup so that if that were to happen, I'll just turn it around on Rampart and let him take the fall for it. That's kind of what I think. But that's essentially what the Empire does. They use people. They make you think that you're doing a good service to them. And as soon as you're no longer useful to them, and in this case with Rampart, he was garnering too much attention from everybody, then you just take the fall for them. That's what they do. They use Dooku in the same way. It made Dooku think he was fighting on the right side. Once he no longer is of use to Palpatine, what does he have happen? He has Anakin kill him. He used the clones and made them feel useful for serving this new Empire. Empire, and now what does he want to do? Have him decommissioned and tossed to the side. He used Rampart, made him think that he was doing a great service, and now what does he do? Has him take the fall for everything to pass the bill forward anyway. And again, when Rampart was being arrested there, what do we hear him say? I was just following orders, right? It's that same line again, good soldiers follow orders, but look at where that gets you. It gives that line a whole lot more meaning. We've heard it from the Clone Wars and now in the Bad Batch, and look at what the end result is of following orders. Those clones acting under Rampart were just following orders too, and now they're being vilified in the eyes of the Senate. So it's a very, very dirty game, and it just shows again why you cannot trust the Empire. And it shows also why they're so hard to go up against, because if you do nothing, they'll just expand. But often if you try and get involved and do the right thing, like what they did in this episode, you help them expand anyway. Overall, this was a great episode, another great one. I love this two-parter. I can definitely see why they released both at the same time now. It really, again, just gave us some much needed politics, and it was suspenseful, and it showed us firsthand how ruthless the Empire is, not only in terms of violence, but also within the Senate as well, and their manipulative tactics when it comes to politics as well. That's what makes them such a force to be reckoned with. No pun intended. So now we have to see what happens going forward with the Bad Batch, how they're going to navigate this new world, how they're going to do without Echo. Are we going to see Echo and Rex again? I have a feeling that, again, either Crosshair is going to come back, or maybe Cody's going to join the Bad Batch to make them 5 members once again. But I could also see Cody joining Rex and Echo as well. That would be quite an alliance, because all of them fought in the war alongside the Jedi for the Republic, and now they find themselves in a new fight despite the war being over. That's the thing about this series and Star Wars in general. It always teaches us that even if the war is over, the fight will always continue and the fight will never stop. But yeah, guys, as always, let me know what you thought down below in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you next week for an all new episode of The Bad Batch. Until next time, guys, take care and see you soon.